What's up, y'all? We are back. This is episode 15 of the Washington Nationals, Washington Nationals Out of the Park Baseball 24 series. So, if you did not watch last episode and are wondering why this save has been renamed or there's a new series, I was not extended a contract. I was not fired. To make that very clear. But I'm just kidding. But we were on a 1-year deal and they did not want to extend us. I found the email in here, so yeah, we are now looking for a job. So honestly, this is the first time Out of the Park Baseball I think ever that I've ever been released from a job, which is just crazy, but we definitely deserved it. So a couple of options were thank you for Nick Ladinsky, sorry, for recommending the Red Sox and a bigger market team, I guess. And actually, I went in and kind of looked at their budgets and where they stand. The Rangers are 11th in budget, and the Red Sox are actually lower. They're 13th, but they do have a lower payroll, not as much long-term commitment, money-wise. And then the Astros are also a big market team. They're 8th in budget, but man, this is disgusting how much money they have on the books long-term. So. It was between the Red Sox and Rangers, but I think I'm going to go with the Rangers. I like their team currently. It's not going to be like a total, roster overhaul. They do have issues pitching-wise, but they have a slightly bigger budget than the Red Sox. Not a ton of money wrapped up long-term, and the guys they do have are, like, really good players. Like, Corey Seager's a nice player. Hitters off the books after next season. Ketel Marte they signed to a pretty affordable deal. Josh Young. Another guy who's a total stud on a cheap contract. Chase Dolander. I also like the arc of coming into the Rangers and getting the guy that we should have picked with that second overall pick. And he's on a long-term deal, so he'll be around for the long run. They have this guy, Thomas Sagasay. I know it's Sagasay. Who's a young... controllable player for the next 2 seasons. And yeah, I just like their team. So we're going to take over this Rangers job. And yeah, this will now be a Texas Rangers save. We'll keep tabs on the Nationals, see how they do. See if they can do any better than we did. We had a couple good seasons, but yeah. Okay, so our new owner is Ray C. Davis. I'm not sure if that's their owner in real life, but they want us to reach the playoffs, improve home runs, increase attendance, top 6 minor league system. Another reason I like this is they don't have a very good minor league system. It is a rebuild in that sense where we're going to have to build up this system. And we had a good system for the Nationals for a while, and then a lot of guys graduated. We had a lot of guys in the lower minors. So we're going to have to build up this system again, draft some good players, international fines, reach the World Series in 5 seasons, which I think is definitely doable with this team. So... where do we stand? We're going to have to go through and kind of pick out the guys that we want. We're going to have to totally rebuild this roster. At least, I don't think Corey Seager is a shortstop at this point. He'd be a great third baseman, but he was fine over at short, but I'd rather go for a defensive guy, and they do have that guy on this roster. Colin Mares, who's a really glove-first guy, has a decent enough bat that I think he can stick at shortstop. But what does that do for Sagasay? I think he moves to first base. What does that do with Ketel Marte? I think he moves to a corner outfield spot or second base. Eloy's off the books. This is a big contract, and he'll be gone. So I think Marte moves to left. Sagasay, I could just do it right now. I guess I have control of the team. And then Colmenares moves to short. And we got this guy Leo Jimenez, who could also probably play a little bit of first base, corner outfield, but he'll probably be a DH as it stands now. Luis Matos not a center fielder. Josh Young can stick in right. I think he'll be fine out there. Maybe he moves to left. Let's see who has better outfield ratings, actually. Yeah, so we're going to have to put Young out and right. I'm a little bit concerned about our outfield defense. We don't really have a true center fielder here on the 40-man. And even in the minors, I didn't see anyone when I was kind of glancing through their team. So, who's this guy? Oh, Sam Gill. Okay, yeah, he wasn't really a top guy. I'm changing him to a shortstop, I'll tell you that. So I don't really know what this episode's going to be. It might be going through the offseason here, kind of picking through this team, see what's going on. So I guess I'll run through a lot of this offseason on camera. So we definitely want to get the scouting budget up. We want to get the development budget up. See the most we can go. And then we'll take away the draft budget for now. Take away the IFA budget. That leaves us with $3 million. So we're going to drop this a little bit. Let's try to get some more guys to the ballpark. Let's drop the ticket prices down a bit. We do have a lot of fan interest, a lot of fan loyalty, big market, so I'm not too concerned about getting people to the ballpark as long as we make the right moves this offseason. So, yeah, we're going to go through the bottom of our 40-man, see which guys we can kind of get rid of, which guys I don't see as long-term pieces. I do like this guy. Which guy is the catcher? Stone Russell. This guy, really young player. He's not a catcher, unfortunately, but he could be a DH option. Yeah, so we have like a lot of DH corner guys. Not a ton up the middle as of right now, which is obviously the hardest place to get pieces. Dustin Harris has had some good years in the majors. Did he win Yeah, he won a Silver Slugger. I do remember seeing his name when I was going through the awards a couple times. Okay, so I'll do a lot of this off camera, just because, it's going to be a good amount of work going through this. So we'll be back in just a bit with probably some arbitration stuff and roster construction when free agents file. All right, so I went simmed a couple days, and the GM before me must have offered all these people contracts already. So they extended Sigis to a big deal, which I had been considering. We're just going to act like this happened before I got here, because I had no idea that they offered this to him. I thought all this was kind of clean slate, and this is fine. I mean, he's a really good player. I'm waiting for my scout to come back. We signed AJ Preller to be our scout. But yeah, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. I did want to sign him long term, I think, but I would have liked a little bit of say in that. So a bunch of people got signed to contracts that I did not offer. So this is off to a great start. Justin Harris is the guy I would have non-tendered. They signed him to a $12 million deal. Not the end of the world. And I think that was it. They signed Domingo Acevedo to an extension, an arbitration. I would have non-tendered him. So yeah, I mean, this isn't the best start to the offseason, obviously. Mitch Bratt is a guy I definitely want to bring back, so I'm cool. I offered him a contract. Kirby Snead, actually, is a guy I would bring in. He's a lefty, 34. I didn't really check the state of our bullpen at all. So, yeah, we got Hader. Freddie Pacheco's a decent arm. Morejon's decent, although he's a free agent. Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world that Domingo Acevedo got a contract. I'm not totally against that. Especially with the lack of options we have. So yeah, we're gonna keep moving ahead. I just wanted to update that they did sign Sigis to a pretty big contract extension. So again, not the end of the world. I probably would have locked him up anyway. We have money into the future, at least enough that I feel comfortable with that. But yeah, just an update on that. We'll be back. So I lied. I edited Dustin Harris's contract so that we are not stuck with $12 million for a guy I cannot get rid of, and I would have non-tendered. So he's gonna go to arbitration here. Like, I just basically undid the contract that they gave him, and I'm gonna non-tender him. I'll keep everyone else. I'll keep the contract for Sigis that they signed him. Just act like that happened before, like at the end of the season when before I signed on. We'll act like that happened. But the Dustin Harris thing is stupid. So I'm actually going to override that. Just as a heads up, that happened. So we'll be back. All right, so we're going to make our first trade as the GM of the Texas Rangers. So I guess we should go up who we're getting first. Dylan Cease. Pretty self-explanatory, still a really good arm in the save. Has dealt with a few injuries over the past few years, but is still reliable enough that, there's not a ton out in the free agent market. So we're going to go with pick up Cease, and also, honestly, probably the bigger piece in this deal, Chris Sarver. He's not the best bat in the world, but he put up about a league average season back there. But 80 outfield range, put up a 19.8 zone rating last year in center field. 23 years old, only 1 year in the majors. So we'll have him for the next 5 years. Doesn't have the best speed. He's a ground ball hitter. I don't expect him to do this with the bat again, but because of his great outfield defense, we can excuse it. So we're giving up quite a bit. In return. So the biggest piece, probably Leo Jimenez, who spent a lot of time in the majors last year. Didn't do too much, and I do like him, but the infield range concerns me. He's probably only a first baseman. Could be like a utility guy, but not going to be a good one. Making $3.5 million. I just don't really see it on this new roster. So maybe another team he sticks as a first baseman or a DH, but not on this team. Tommy Speck is a really good, really good player. 24 years old. Didn't make an appearance in the majors last year. I'd add him to the 40-man roster to begin the season. And I bet he'll be a really good player, but we don't need any more corner outfield guys. Kind of check out where we are prospect-wise. We have this guy, Joe McCall, who's kind of knocking on the door. And he's a corner guy, so Spec is a little bit redundant with those guys. Sorry, oh my god. I should probably just pause this. Hold on. Anyway, yeah, we're giving up Spec and Davis Diaz, who is a Rule 5 eligible guy. Had a decent season last year in AAA, but just another piece. So, I mean, we're picking up a starter for this season, which we desperately need, and a center fielder for the next 5 years, which I think this is a big win. We're kind of giving up some spare parts for positions of need. So, I'm going to swing that trade. And, we also signed Cole Henry, old friend of Washington. He was a free agent, and I love Cole Henry, so we brought him on. Our only free agent signing so far of the offseason. So C slots into that number 2 spot. And all of a sudden, this rotation's looking kind of competitive. Mitch Bratt's not horrible as a 3. Then, the 4 and 5 spots are currently being addressed as we speak. So, we have a bunch of offers out there for dudes. So, I guess the biggest one, I was in the running for Kyle Wright, but his price point got driven up a little bit more than I wanted. 16 over 3 for a 33-year-old who is not exactly coming off a great season last year, although the peripherals show that he's probably a better pitcher than he was. But anyway, we're going to be out of the bidding for him. So we're going with some lower risk guy. Justin Steele, gave him a $1.5 million deal. Cole Irvin, who, if you remember, was on the Nationals way back in 2026. A guy that, if everything lands right and we have good defense, can be a good arm. Then some minor league free agents just to fill out the rosters. This guy's interesting. Masahiro Tahara. Good work ethic, good intelligence, 22 years old, international guy. I don't necessarily plan on keeping him, but he could be a good trade chip down the line, because we do have, Sagis is playing first right now, and then our other top prospects, we have Joe Rourke down here, who was a first-round pick just last season. Looks like he's going to be a total stud. And Brock Daniels, who's also knocking on the door. I don't really know where I see Brock playing. He might play a lot of second base this year for us. Can play some corner outfield. A real, super utility guy in that respect. And he'll probably mix in a lot of DH, maybe a little platoon with Stone Russell. But yeah, we'll see where that lands. And then we address the biggest need of the offseason, which is a center fielder. At least on offense. Chris Sarver, hopefully slide in for the next handful of years and play some good outfield defense. So, second base, I think we can figure out with some guys, but I do want to make a couple offers as well. So, checking out what's at second. Ezekiel Tovar, would love to get him, but a little too expensive. Not exactly coming off his best season. But he's had some good years in the save. A good defensive player. This guy's interesting enough, but for 1.2 million, I wish my scout would get on this and start scouting people, but I did assign him to my entire organization to do that. Ozzy Albies, not really the best defender. I'd rather go defense here if we're going to have a bad bat. Vidal Brujan, not the worst season last year. Can play a lot of different positions, has good speed. Doesn't want a ton of money. That might be an option. I don't want to go offer him that yet. Nico Horner, a guy we almost brought in for the Nationals. Cronenworth, definitely not a second baseman anymore. Jose Tena, 27 years old, lefty. Not horrible. So yeah, there's not a ton out here. Tommy Edman, not the most inspiring option. Go to the trade block. O'Neal Cruz is coming off did he win a Gold Glove or a Silver Slugger? Yeah, he won a Silver Slugger this season for the Twins. Not really a second baseman, more of a really good third baseman. Jonathan Aranda probably not going to play there. Tyler Freeman's interesting, good tools. Not a great season last year. He's a free agent making a good amount of money. So yeah, we might have to go off book here and see if we can make something else work. But we'll come back when we have some moves to announce. All right, so a ton of international guys. I went for quantity over quality just because my scout hadn't really got to a lot of these guys. So Luis Pimentel was kind of our big fish. We spent $1 million on him, which isn't too much, but yeah, looks like it could be a potentially good arm. We'll see. The other guy, I guess big name we got was Jesus Molina. Good outfield range, good upside. We'll see. We gave him like 900,000, I think. Yeah, 900. Then a couple other guys. Nelson Campos has some tools. Franken was just cheap and contact and avoid Ks. Who knows? He's still young. Julio Negrete, good defensive player, decent upside at the bat. Same story with Bonachia and David Ortega, decent upside at the bat. All these guys were like 300, 400,000 maybe. So yeah, we got a lot of different guys, but no like big names, I guess. And we spent all of our money, so yeah, we'll move forward. I guess we can go over the Rule 5 draft. We took a couple guys. Braden Taylor was a guy I've been targeting for a couple of years with Washington, and his price was just too high. And he's 26 and hasn't really developed. I'm going to throw a dart and see maybe he sticks. He had a great year in AAA last year. So we kind of need like a second base type, and he's kind of that. So we'll see if he makes this team. And then the other guy we took was... Oh, boy. Let me see. This guy, Irv Carter, could potentially be a starter. If not, could be a good reliever as well. And I'm kind of at the point where, like, I'd rather take a guy who could potentially start than only a reliever. So I think Irv Carter was a good dart to throw. We did sign Justin Steele, Cole Irvin, a couple of depth starters. And that's about all that's happened so far. We've made a couple of big trades. And also, like, I was looking at my AAA team. Like, I think this guy... Koziel can play. Oh, actually, his range dropped from 55. This is what he looked like before. He dropped down to a 50. So, but I think he can still play some second base for us. So he's an option. Also, long term, Steve Crow is our long term catcher. I didn't really mention that, but he's a guy who's 23. Really good defense. Yeah, I'm excited for him. Brock Daniels will mix in at second base as well. So we're just gonna try to piece it together over there, and I don't feel like spending any more money this offseason. We've expended a lot of payroll this offseason. We extended Segris, we brought on Cease, and yeah, I think we're pretty set. Hader's off the books next year, Cease is as well, so we'll have a ton of money to spend. Maybe we can go after it if we had a good season this year. So keep moving forward. We'll probably go up to around opening day or so, unless there's any other moves that move the needle at all. All right, so we're up here to opening day 2029 with the Texas Rangers, and our owner thinks we should reach the playoffs. So I think it's doable, but we'll see how this team all comes together. Not a ton of injuries to report either. Dalton Varsho is a minor league guy that we signed. He's out for 5 to 6 weeks. It was a 2-month injury. And Corey Seager should be good. He is the flu, I guess. So we'll see if my manager starts him. We signed this guy to Takara, and he slots in at number 1. What was that? 119. Ken Rourke, 91 prospect in baseball. Joe McCall still down at 137, but I think he did move up a couple of spots. Then Terrell Goffner is our last guy in the top 200, so we're 29th out of 30. Didn't really make too many moves to improve that this offseason, but we'll just have to keep going through the draft and stuff. Still a lot of guys down here that I like, so I'm not too concerned about the minor leagues, but yeah, we'll see how the rosters shook up here opening day. So Ozzie Albies is actually going to be our starting second baseman. Signed him to a minor league deal, had a good spring, and has a lot of experience, so we'll give him a run. Vidal Brujan, a guy we signed to a minor league deal. He was kind of like my best defensive infield option. Of the guys available, a lot of these guys at 50 range. Yeah, it just kind of how this roster shook up this year. So, so he'll make the team as a bench player. Luis Matos, our backup outfielder. We're carrying, I guess, technically 3 catchers, but Stone Russell is not really going to play catcher for us. It'll be Jose Trevino, who had a really nice spring. And Cal Raleigh, who didn't get too many at-bats, but I was looking at his stats from last year. He was a really good defensive player the last 2 seasons, so has some pop potential. Maybe he can run into a few. And Stone Russell will mostly be a DH/utility guy. I have him starting a little bit at second base, first base. He's a backup, a lot of DH. Brock Daniels is kind of the same story. These guys are trading off at DH, whether it's lefty or righty. Brock Daniels does make the team. He'll be kind of a utility man as well. He's a little bit of a better defender where he can actually play a lot of different positions. So he'll be a nice little piece to use, I think. And I think that's kind of all the surprises. Everything else is pretty much business as usual. And then in the rotation, Chase Dolander, of course, is our ace. Dylan Cease, 2-starter, picked him up in the offseason. Mitch Bratt, our 3-starter. Cole Irvin, who we signed to a minor league, or I guess it was a major league deal, but a pretty low salary. Had a pretty nice spring. He'll be our 4-star. And then Justin Steele did not have a very good spring, but you take away this last start, he was pretty good. He'll be our 5-starter. So not the best rotation I've ever put together, but we were kind of limited on what we could do due to a lot of stupid contracts this team gave out before I signed on, including Domingo Acevedo, who probably would have been cut from this team if he wasn't making $3.3 million. We actually wound up waiving and DFAing Kijada, I think, is how you say it. He's making $4 million. He'll probably be up with the team at some point, but he was out of options. We had a kind of a bullpen crunch, as you can see. All these guys can go to AAA. And I think that's about it. We can go over the bullpen. So it's Josh Hader. He's our closer. Cole Henry going to the 8th inning role that he, pretty much excelled at his entire time when he was in Washington. Maybe not last season, but he was still good. Luka Jacobson, pretty decent arm, is our 7th inning man. Jamie Callahan. Acevedo, we already went over. Miguel Gomez, who is an old friend of the Washington Save. We traded him for, I believe this is $750,000 worth of international free agent pool signing money, whatever you call it. He hasn't really done too much with Texas so far. He's pitched like a 65 ERA plus in 2 seasons, so hopefully he can get that under control. I still believe in him, but definitely a short leash. He's out of options. And Freddie Pacheco, who's the most interesting arm with our really good defensive catchers, can probably limit the walks for him, and maybe he could be a good arm. And then Irv Carter, a Rule 5 pick, he'll start the year in the bullpen. If you notice one trend, it's the home runs may be a really big issue with these guys. We don't have anyone besides Jacobson and Cole Henry, who is a ground baller. that are like, above average in movement. So it'll be interesting to monitor how that plays out this season. But yeah, as you can see, our attendance is way up this year. Revenue also going to be up. So really excited about that. Really quick, check out the Nationals. See what they did this offseason. They got my boy Namala batting third. You're welcome. Marcelo Mayer. Let's see. Yeah. Good luck with that. Raheem Lucky, another guy I drafted. Grant Hussey, he'll be batting cleanup. Hopefully he gets a full season of at-bats for him. It looks like he will. Cooper Pratt coming off a really good year and had an awesome spring. James Wood batting sixth. I don't know if I agree with that. I know his ratings aren't really great, but he's done nothing but mash. One career 139 WRC plus, which is just insane. And he's never had a season worse than 128. Yeah, and he's their sixth hitter. So, and then Connor Griffin going up in right field. Keibert Ruiz back at catcher for him, and Dominic Fletcher, their center fielder. Not too bad. They got Nola. They're trying out Paul Skeens as a starter. Good luck. It looks like his ratings actually went up a bit. So maybe he could figure it out, but I wouldn't bank on that. Brian Wu, Brenton Tolick. Looks like my scout is either low in accuracy or he did dip down in rating. And Riley Cornelio, good for him getting a shot. They're putting Tyler McGill in the bullpen. I don't know if I agree with that. He was awesome as a starter last year for us and St. Louis. This is not... Yeah, that's not one of the guys we had. Yennier Cano's still here. Tony Gonsolin, who they signed as a free agent, they're putting him in the bullpen. That's, good use of resources. But anyway, enough with the Nationals. This is no longer a Nationals save, and we don't like the Nationals anymore. So, opening day here, Chase Dollander on the mound. And we have a bunch of guys, actually, that aren't on the 40. Him, Bruhan, and I think that's it, actually. All right, so opening day. Okay, we have Jose Trevino. Forgot he was a minor league guy. Cal Raleigh, yeah, we already got him. Okay, opening day. Hopefully this time. Oh my God, Ozzy Albies. This just shows you how many minor league guys made this team. It's just pretty funny. I think that's the last one. Yes, and we win 8-4 on opening day. Brock Daniels, a huge major league debut. 3 hits, 4 RBIs in this one. And his first career home run. So good for him. Jose Trevino also went yard. Dollander, a pretty good start. And Cole Henry picks up his first save as a Texas Ranger. And Game 2, Dylan Cease on the mound. And we lose 9-7. Our shortstop goes out. And I don't want to see too much of this because, wow, we had a 7-2 lead going into the 8th, 7-3, and then, oh boy, this should be fun. Josh Hader blows his first save opportunity of the year, and Gomez gives up 2 in the top of the 10th. Good day for the offense, though, and Dylan Cease was pretty solid in his first start. So I'm not going to look too much into that. It's, just one game. Can't get too upset. Also, I wanted to see preseason predictions. See where they have us. They have us 75-87. I mean, I'm not too surprised at that. I thought our team was a little bit better than that, and maybe we can outperform it. But Dollander's supposed to be a top pitcher. Top hitters, we don't have anyone. And then in the NL, of course, the Nationals supposed to be 91-71. Man, that ticks me off. I wish I had one more year. One more year. Because that was definitely a transition season. And then, but anyway, Corey Seager, 3 RBIs, 3 hits. Segis, 3 hits. Nice start from Mitch Bratt. And the bullpen does a fine enough job getting us out of it. So last game of the series, Cole Irvin on the mound. We lose 6-5. Corey Seager continues his torrid start to the year. After, I think he missed the first game of the year, it looks like. Cole Irvin, not the best. Acevedo blows it. So, yeah, we start the year 2-2. Not the worst start in the world. And we'll come back next episode at the midseason update and all that. But first in runs scored after the series, 14th in runs against, unfortunately. But yeah, the offense looks pretty good. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.